And for comprehensive coverage in our midday and major news at 7 p.m. on CNC3.
Good Monday morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Today, the 3rd of August, 2026. It's August already, and by all means, we are set, ready, not only for today and the brand new week, but the brand new month. And there is so much to discuss as we get the ball rolling. I want to get something off my chest, and when I go in the studio, I will express how I truly feel, because I find we're going on a particular road here in this Trinidad and Tobago that is very dangerous. And I really implore our leaders to conduct it in a much more palatable and more functional and more sensible manner. And we'll get a chance to not only discuss it during the course of the program with our first guest, but obviously when we open the lines and give you, most importantly, your chance to weigh in. In the meantime, sit back, relax. JW signing on. Let's get the ball rolling on this Monday, the first morning brew for the month of August. And we're good to go. See you soon. Running into a brand new day. Welcome again, as mentioned, the 3rd day of August. August is here already. July is gone, and we welcome August, the final couple of weeks for those students who are home getting a chance to relax, unwind, play some games, just go out and run and express their youthful exuberance. Listen, just a couple of weeks, and then from September, back to the action, the new academic school year, not only for primary and secondary, but also tertiary. So this is a chance, a few more weeks to just take it easy. So enjoy to the max. And for us too, to enjoy the little ease with the traffic, because come September, you have to move early again. There's licks on the road, yes? That's how it is. But listen, we understand the rhythm, we understand the cycle, and we are able to function and adjust. Let's see what's happening via the front page of the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian on this Monday morning. JW signing on with the tremendous team. We go until 8. As I mentioned, I find myself looking at the developments over the weekend in total astonishment, because for the life of me, why is it that our politicians continue to find ways and means to divide, to fan the flames of disdain? I mean, coming out of what was supposed to be a weekend of celebration, commemoration, we find ourselves again talking about statements made by the Prime Minister about what happened on, Independence Square, right, downtown. While the Culture Minister was speaking, she was disturbed. And coming out of that, I suspect, and basically when you read between the lines via the Prime Minister's message, she said that they disrespected her daughter, meaning, of course, Minister Benjamin, MP for Maruga, I believe, that side. So coming out of all of that, there was a non-attendance, and many saw that as a total disrespect, and indeed, I think it was. And, because many always use the comparison line, they always, say, well, because this happened, well, we have to look at what happened in the past. And, I actually went back to look at the years, because I remember it was around 2017 and 2019. The former Prime Minister at the time. And I was not doing the morning brew, I was actually on radio. And I guess it's a pity, I don't know if they saved these archives, but I remember I dedicated a good part of my morning opening. Those days I would have been doing radio with Blaze on Slam, in this same part of the same frequency on the second floor. And I was very upset when back in 2017 thereabouts, in the former Prime Minister's particular tenure, this is Dr. Rowley we're talking about, he failed to show up at the Diwali Nagar. And granted, two different kind of celebrations, one of course with a religious component, the other one with a more historical and cultural component. still two very strong national events that speaks to a big cross-section. And I recall during the particular time, of course, Dr. Rowley not really probably reading the room and not wanting to go there, and well, you know, the fear, I guess. Well, fear. We will never know what's in the heart of these leaders. But when you get a boo, or people not on you when you stand up and speak, it's something that you could say who you could be as high and mighty as you want to be. It's something that goes with you, you know, for a while. So I don't know what was the ultimate reason. If the current Prime Minister thought that going there it would have been a hostile environment, going there it might have been some kind of verbal confrontation, and even more so, our current Prime Minister decided to talk about if folks want to insult and curse her, there will be another opportunity. Where all that come from? You know, and some of the other commentary, I don't even want to read it. Even the commentary made by our Prime Minister last week using the C word, it's something that, imagine, as a media practitioner, within my own balance and my own, you know, understanding of the space and where I live, I refuse to read a statement by a Prime Minister. And as I said before, I was very upset when Dr. Rowley did not attend the Nagar. I found it was totally out of touch, not understanding your role and function as a leader, and putting aside all that, regardless if the hostile environment or the crowd is not welcoming, you have to show up. And it's the same way I feel and the sentiment I feel. And I find myself looking at the flames that are being fanned at this point in time. It is really disappointing. Disappointing. And you know, I hope and I pray for the day this brand and this style of politics really leaves the country. Those who hold this particular mindset, you know, when they fade away and they, you know, fade to black, as it were. The next generation that steps in, I hope and I pray and I really trust that we will not make the mistakes of what we're seeing at this point in time. Because the reality is, all of us, put the politicians aside, they will fight their battles. All of us, as Trinbagonians, we work together, we play together, we hang out, we lime together. We even get closer when we leave the shores. I have seen it time and time again when people go overseas. There is no ethnic divide. We see each other as Trinbagonians, and we hold on to each other like brothers and sisters, because we recognize on the global stage we're extremely small. Now we continue to box above our weight class, and we like salt, we in everything, so we are premium people. But ultimately, economy of scale, population size, compared to the Brazils of the world, the Americas of the world, the France and the Saudi Arabias of the world, we're a small population. And when we see each other outside, there is this immediate affection and love and camaraderie. But for some reason, the politicians are the one trying to find a particular divide, and people trying to find ways to defend this moment, you know. How could it be that a Prime Minister is putting out statements that I personally choose not to read? Because if I read it, I myself might end up in problems. People might look at me a certain way, but it's not my words, you know. It's the words of a sitting Prime Minister. Now, let me tell you this before I go to the back page. Huh? The former, this is Dr. Rowley. Tone was very harsh, very brute. Many didn't like his communication style, and rightfully so. Out of touch for a good long time, and hence the reason he had to sit on the bench. He was, well, not so much him, but he gave the role and function to somebody else. So lessons to be learned there, and you know, he needs to live with that. But the current PM, even though her tone might be a softer tone, not as harsh in terms of the actual tone, the content to me leaves much to be desired. Kill them violently, empty the clip. Trinidad is a lawless dump. The statements go on, and the statement, I didn't even address the statement last week because we were in a different zone and mood. Yeah, but I found myself saying, this is a kind of time in here where we need to rein it back a little bit. We need to rein it back. And I really wanted to get that off my chest. And obviously, when we open the lines later, feel free, weigh in. I'll sit, I'll listen. And I really want to analyze how you're seeing this moment as a Twin Island state, Trinidad and Tobago. Let's start at the back page because there is lots to deal with. The clips of Stickman into the final after we defeated our neighbors Venezuela to book spot in the CAC gold medal match. So at least the stickmen, I don't know, Amisha and the team, I find the Calypso stickmen, that name though, it don't sit well with me at all. The Calypso I could work with, the stickmen, boy. Anyway, stickmen, deal with them. All right, we wish our stickmen the very best. So what we call the girls, the stick women? No, that won't sound good at all, right? That won't sound good at all. I don't know, but we'll work it out. Let's head to the brief and see what's happening on this Monday morning. All right, I'm seeing TNT to host the Caribbean Music Awards for the first time. I had a chance to perform at the very first Music Awards in New York. This would have been 2023. A great time, a great time. It was at the King's Auditorium there in Brooklyn. And it would have been at that venue for the last couple of years, but it's coming to Napa. So this is a big deal, and I trust that all Trinbagonians will get on board and support this. It's our awards, it's our Grammys, it's our chance to celebrate all the music of the region. So kudos in that regard, and some smiles from the Emancipation Day celebrations, Emancipation Village. Some of the youngsters in their amazing wear. Well done, girls, and by all means, a great time had by all. I went down to the village again on Saturday. Great time, love the turnout, and as I said before, this is a kind of moment here, I don't know, we need to rein it back. I'm not gonna sit down or come on the chair here and see the moment and not comment on it and ask for better. We don't live like that. That is not the Trinidad and Tobago. I want to see that's not the road we're supposed to go down or need to go down. It's uncalled for. We on the ground, we don't operate on that level. So the politicians need to move up and step up, especially the person who's behind the wheel right now, our Prime Minister. And if they want to get vexed and thing and watch my cut eye, that's the business. I see it as I see it. I sit here representing Trinidad and Tobago. And what I want to see from my sweet Twin Island state, I can't see them thing and I call it out. No. We want better. Move up. We say move up on this Monday morning. Let's get ready for the boss report. All right. As a matter of fact, we'll put the boss on pause this morning. We'll get to Surud probably next week. We're going to deal with Mwale Henry, who is stepping in, emancipation and resistance, and just the whole general mood. And, you know, he's a man that looks at things through a very interesting lens. Mwale Henry, he joins me next.
Heart disease is the #1 cause of death in Trinidad and Tobago, driven by two silent threats, diabetes and high cholesterol. But now there's a powerful ally, introducing Berberine Plus by Asia Nutrition, clinically proven to stabilize blood sugar and keep cholesterol levels in check. With 99.9% pure extract, you get superior absorption and real results. Available now at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Berberine Plus, your heart deserves better.
Textbooks, screens, late nights. Your eyes work hard through every class, exam, project, and deadline. Ferrara Optical has eyewear specifically designed to reduce eye strain so nothing holds your learning back. For a limited time, youth get a free frame with lenses from just $495. Scholars get frame and lenses starting at only $750. And lifelong learners save up to 30% off your purchase of advanced lenses like Eisen and Transitions. Less strain, more focus. Your vision without limits. Visit Ferrara Optical in store today. This promotion is NLCB approved.
Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488 or visit our website to order.
Every day at the castle, long before we open our doors, our work begins. Our famous seasonings are mixed in advance. We select our fresh chicken parts and prep our delicious sides. Then we fire up the fryers and rotisserie oven. Everything is made with tasty local herbs, spices, and the same long-loved recipe since 1968. So, when you come in, remember that we uphold our culture and our taste. Just for you. We are your Royal Castle.
Well, I must say, I received the news from my producer, Amisha, this morning, and going forward, I'm so happy and proud to address my guest as now Dr. Mwale Henry. Congratulations, Dr. Henry. We have to celebrate these wins. Doctor of Paper is a man who would have put some years, I'm sure, into the studies, and rightfully so getting the title, and now even the job description in a way got a shift. You're now a leadership executive advisor. So well done, Mwale. Well, Dr. Henry, I'm really happy, and I look forward. Very, very important discussion ahead, Dr. Henry. Welcome as always to the program.
Thank you so much, Jason, and good morning to you and your viewers. I'm always excited to have informative conversations with you.
Indeed. We're looking at the topic here, emancipation and resistance, and the We Will Remember theme. Obviously, things got to a kind of sour note for some looking on, but then, you see, politics is such an interesting animal, and it seems to find its way in most things. I mean, life and politics, they work tandem. Your reaction to what transpired downtown in a very historic space. That's where the Emancipation Declaration was read, back in the day. That's a symbolic space, and obviously the minister was giving her address and she was interrupted. And that in itself had a whole tailspin and led to, well, clearly what we anticipate, what we kind of reading through the lines now was the Prime Minister's absence at the actual village later on in the afternoon. Just your take, before we get into the whole emancipation and resistance discussion, your reaction to what transpired over the weekend.
Well, we must remember emancipation is not just a celebration of freedom, it's a remembrance of resistance. And it's inevitable, the intertwine between politics and society. The mere fact that, as you alluded, 1838, when the Emancipation Proclamation was read, it was a resistance to a political structure. So for me, it's not surprising where that type of interruption took place before the Minister of Culture and Community Affairs, Community Development, whereby, to her credit, she maintained her poise and, in her words, respected her elders. But the cry that took place was truly a reflection of the wider society and its concerns. And I would call that disturbance our modern day Elmer Francis, whereby the concerns of employment, the concerns of community stability, and the very fabric of our society, the concerns are valid. And it would be remiss of any government, any administration, or anyone who calls themselves a leader or an observer of our society to ignore those cries and to dismiss them as some form of sectarian politics.
But some might say, and what you're saying is spot on. Actually, I didn't even look at it through the lens, because yes, a part of that remembrance is also the resistance, the pushing, as it were, against the powers that be. But some might argue time and place.
Well, which other time or which other place? You see, one of the key things of any democratic society is the ability to express oneself. And if we look at, I was listening to your commentary earlier, if we look at the content of the statement I would call this fighter made, the content was spot on. The content had no racial overture. The content had no duration in it. It spoke to the current condition. If you look at just recently CSO's updated figures, first quarter of 2026, over 6,000 jobs have been lost. Last year, you're talking about over 40,000 jobs. So there is a great concern. The Minister of Finance, the Honorable Minister David Tampu, speaks of some of those challenges. So what we heard was clear resistance, and it echoed throughout the country what is required for leaders to have the proper response to such a valid concern.
So let's go now to the afternoon and the absence of our Prime Minister at the village. It's not the first time when she was Prime Minister, first time between 2010 and 2015, there would have been some years of absence. I draw the comparison also to Dr. Rowley's absence at the Diwali Nagar, two different celebrations, one with a religious component, the other one with a more cultural and historic component. However, national events that the eyes of the nation will be looking on, and there will be this expectation of the leader being there to address the masses. Was the Prime Minister's absence poor political calculation?
For me, it's not just about absence, but right now we could say it's an absence of good sense. You see, the greatest threat to our society is not oppression alone. It's this collective amnesia that we tend to practice. You know, I would position that this type of tension has been allowed in some shape or form in our Red House, our parliament. If you would recall, Jason, I believe it was in March of this year, the Prime Minister, the Honorable Prime Minister, made a decision to call herself in a racial derogatory term. Now, that may be her decision, but the Speaker had a responsibility to not allow such a statement to stand in our Hansards and to be a part of our official record. Now, there was objection by the Member of Parliament for San Fernando East, and the Speaker, in my humble view, twisted himself in a pretzel to justify that she was not saying this to someone, but she was describing herself. Now, Jason, I will say that this single allowance of the Prime Minister to speak to herself in such a racial derogatory term, if it's allowed in the Red House, now it's happening in the streets. So this type of tension, which we all know can be the tinderbox for so many other things. So my requirement now is that there should be a clear admission that the Prime Minister herself has heard. We can use many examples of many other leaders who have heard, as you would have alluded to, but it's not too late. This needs to stop. We need to reset, and the country needs to get focused on key matters that are at hand. Because
interestingly, Dr. Henry, the same statement that I refuse to say, it's not a word I grew up in my household hearing. So, and it's something such a small, certain words you don't use. That's a word, strangely enough, culturally we are so different. In Jamaica, other parts, Grenada, it's used loosely because the East Indian population, there's a minority. People call themselves that. That's their handle on Instagram. Yardman, C word, right? I tell my Jamaican friends, well, I can't tell you that because even Trinidadians who go to study in Mona, when they're called that, it's a culture shock. So seeing the Prime Minister using that as in a post online, the funny thing, I sit in this chair as a media practitioner, I can't even read that post. Imagine my Prime Minister's putting up posts that I cannot read and will not read. I find this to be very bizarre.
And it is. And to your salient point, we have a Prime Minister who is politically experienced, who has a handsome political mandate. She has been able to defy the political odds, came out of the opposition wilderness. Many would have read her obituary many times over, and now she's in a position that she has fought a brutal election campaign, successfully so. One would have hoped that she would take this mandate and bring forth some type of not just cultural solidarity, political accuracy, but also to lift up the society based on what was promised. Because the chant was, when the UNC wins, everyone wins. But one would hope a graduate of Mona campus, she's aware of these nuances. So it's a decision, and for me, it's a decision that lacks judgment. And my admonition to the wider society is not to buy into this type of rhetoric, but to be laser focused on the people's business, families, jobs, and how do we lift up all of society so that we can have a prosperous TNT.
I saw another statement that went on to almost disregard our Independence Day celebration. It was described as a place for PNM supporters to drink rum, fet, and I'm kind of paraphrasing here. The statement was to drink rum, party, fet, wine, and enjoy freeness from the state. And I'm saying to myself, when did we get to this place of everything being political and a prime minister and a leader using the platform, online platforms to put that kind of rhetoric into the public, on public record. It's really an interesting time we find ourselves in here, Dr. Henry.
Well, it's unforgivable. And I would say the Prime Minister is not the only offendee. I would have observed our opposition leader, in the streets for the emancipation processions, accompanied by her colleagues. And the chant was, "Move, Kamala, move, let we pass." So a procession that is designed really to have a reflection on what we require to do as a people and as a society. I would say nothing is wrong with the understanding of your political contender. But the moment requires us to have a much more sobriety in how we reflect on things. So to your point, Jason, it's not the first time we've seen this rewriting of history. We've seen it in the practice of, people have this sense of false equivalency between chattel slavery and indentureship. We see it at UTT in the celebration and the inclusion of Indian culture on the platform of celebrating African Emancipation Day. So this type of rewriting of history, or to your point, not reading the room, it doesn't augur well for not just our history, a proper understanding, a sociological understanding of our society, and more importantly, setting the right tone that would welcome proper development for our country as a whole.
So my question to you, because I live here, you understand the ground. We all understand the ground. And from my interaction, again, I'm not naive. I've been in different environments. I go all over the country. And when I interact with my fellow Trinbagonians, there is a particular understanding. There is this togetherness. Not all the time. It's not perfect. But we work together, we operate. Yes, people will have their own internal corporate politics, regardless of where you work. But the reality is, we tend to function. I just wonder if there's going to be a breaking point, or how could we break this perpetual cycle of them and those and the political dark cloud that's trying to fan a particular flame. I don't want us to get to how some of these places people fight in war, and I don't want to see that for our country. How do we break this mental and this political mindset?
For me, if I reflect on the attempt that Dr. Keith Rowley, then Prime Minister, made by positioning Stuart Young, SC, as Prime Minister, I would say history will reflect on that moment where Dr. Rowley was ahead of the class and probably ahead of the curve culturally and sociologically. Upon him reflecting on the mandate of the People's National Movement, where its constitution talks about a rally for all, his attempt would have been a cultural reset. And to your point, Jason, what may be required is that the political parties challenge that type of schema, that cultural schema of a Black party and an Indian party. And probably by challenging that schema and challenging that framework, by its political parties being led by different ethnic composition from the leadership perspective, I think it would push the society to have a different view of each other, and more importantly, change the content of the conversation. So from that perspective, I think as we reflect on our political history, we must be willing to challenge some of the frameworks, the cultural frameworks, the racial frameworks, and in doing so, we would be able to create a new society. So Jason, I remember a time during our political conversation, I made a prediction concerning then the US presidential election. And I'll tell you this, it will not be surprising if the UNC attempts to do what Dr. Rowley pushed forward to the nation, to probably have a different view or persons to lead the UNC, and that ethnic composition, which we all know would be a disturbance to our political landscape. And if that occurs, the People's National Movement would be asking a question if they are still culturally relevant to this type of shift. And that's happening. It's happening subtly. It's happening methodologically in terms of the strategy. And probably that disturbance is desperately needed for our society.
Interesting. We find even other ethnic groups within the country, because Trinidad and Tobago, as we know, a rainbow nation, so many would have come here and made their home. We find ourselves looking at folks who might not necessarily be in the headlines. They more or less work, keep their head down and go about their business. And we're talking here about the Syrian community and even the local white community. I saw a minister, a sitting junior minister, refer to a former minister who is now an opposition MP's family as white trash. Those words were said in a post, and I found that to be rather distasteful. If we don't like injustice, we can't accept it at all, whether it's white, black, brown, blue, right? So what's your take on the current environment as it pertains to even those who might not necessarily be in the conversation? Because I'm sure they too will have their grievances, even though people might feel, okay, they in the corner and they're not really putting up their hand and making no noise. Your take on just that particular part of the conversation?
Well, that's a decision. Every generation must decide whether to inherit courage or inherit silence. And if you're talking about other groups of our society where we believe they aren't part of the general conversation, because we try to describe Trinidad, even in our statements, we say we're of multi-ethnic, various races, we're a rainbow nation, but we have this polar conversation between East Indians and Africans. And you have other aspects of the society sitting on and listening. If we continue this tone-deaf conversation of understanding how integrated our society is, if you talk to the average person, they could tell you the stories of friends, they could tell you, the experiences by the Chinese man shop, this Hadida experience that you just described. Many persons could speak about their personal encounter and experience with him, and who aren't Syrian. So it's inescapable that our stories are intertwined and interdependent as a society, and any attempts to create some form of subdivision or exclusion, or if other parts of the society is not susceptible to any type of fallout from other parts of our society, is a myth. So I truly believe that what is required now is that society, wider society, needs to have the courage, and leaders need to have the courage. Our intellectuals need to have the courage, because there's too much spin doctrine on our cultural conversations, even at the intellectual levels, where people are, as I alluded before from the speaker, they are intellectually twisting themselves into a pretzel to try and justify things that have no historical backing, no historical referencing. So that courage, for me, I hope today that many, along the spectrum, from professionals to intellectuals to those in, the regular everyday man, have the courage to speak with clarity, with respect, and with human dignity, and to correct the wrongs whenever they appear.
Dr. Mwale Henry, sincere thanks as always. Great conversation this morning. We'll touch base soon.
Thank you so much, Jason. All the best to you and to your viewers.
Yeah, same to you. That's Dr. Henry, now a leadership executive advisor. So he also is moving up and stepping into a new particular role and function. And he's also a sociologist too. So kudos to Dr. Henry. So last week we had the TNT Automotive Dealers Association president and vice president. They went to a meeting with the minister, and they're back with me today to give the update on this hybrid situation. Visham and Rondell Fields, they're up next.
Discover your favorite treat with Casey Candy Gummies. Sweet or sour, dive into a wave of fun shapes and flavors. Our halal gummies are made with fruit juices, and every bite is packed with fun, chewiness, and pure deliciousness. Perfect for an everyday snack, birthday parties, or lunch boxes. Make your snack time irresistible. And enjoy your day with Casey Gummies.
Stomach discomfort again? Bloating, cramps, irregular bathroom habits? Meet Vivera, your daily support for a balanced gut. Vivera works fast to help reduce the abdominal pain, ease bloating, and support healthy digestion. It helps restore balance to your gut so you can get back to feeling light, comfortable, and in control. Choose for real digestive relief, safe, effective, and trusted for both children and adults. Now available at pharmacies nationwide. Vivera, feel the difference.
Welcome to Holiday Inn Express and Suites.
Do enjoy, Stacey. You want some coffee?
Can I have a bit?
Perfect then.
That's exactly what we need.
Hi, the pool is this way.
Whatever you're here for, we're here for you. Stay smart at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites.
Do you think all dishwashing soaps are the same? With some, do require more effort, and they don't wash as much. Try Dawn and discover its grease cleaning power. Dawn removes stuff grease easier and faster than others. Additionally, it foam lasts 50% more. With Dawn, you use less product to clean more dishes and save with every wash. Dawn, triple grease cleaning power.
Some of us like to test limits, but there won't always be second chances. Obey the speed limits. Maybe you don't value your life, but others value theirs. A message from the TTPS.
My own personal motto is to show citizens of this country that our stories can be told in a professional and international standard. I want to show them that the journalism they consume on cable TV can also exist here. Each day, that's my focus, that's my drive, to show the stories of our communities, of our people, matter just as much as anywhere else in the world. That's why we are where you are.
This is more than just music. This is where you find the best of TNT. This is more than just a vibe. This is where Bollywood gets a twist. This is more than just energy. This is Bhangra and indie pop too. This is the mix. This is the life. Lock on or log on now. Sangeet 106.1 FM. This is authentic East Indian radio. This is us.
The TNT Automotive Dealers Association President and Vice President, they join me right now on the Zoom line. They were here last week, a matter of fact, 7 days ago, for a very important discussion. They went to meet with the minister to treat with this hybrid situation with the tax, the applied taxes, and they promised to come back to give me an update, and that's what they're here to do this morning. So we welcome President Babwa and Vice President Fields. Gentlemen, always a pleasure to have you on the program, and I really look forward to the last 7 days of negotiation and talks. President, what's coming out of the meeting last week with the minister? And firstly, what was the tone and tenor and the mood of this said meeting? Let's deal with that first before we get into the content.
Right. Well, thank you again for having us, JW. We really appreciate the support and the time you all give us on air. It really helps also when we could, it's not a negotiation tactic, but to highlight our issues. And when we get some clarity, we also need to say thanks to how the process was and what happened. So we had a pushback, but we went into this meeting. As you are aware, we were by you last week, Monday. Now this issue, some issue happened before last week, Monday, right? Customs cleared people's cars, but it did not give them the document because they were in deliberation how they should proceed with using the HS code. However, during that time, persons who are not members of TARA went on social media and, as we will say, began to blast the government and customs without being properly informed and knowing where law has to be enforced and where rule and order should take its place. So they went out there and they began. So when we went into this meeting now, I wouldn't say a fully hostile environment, but you're going to an environment where you begin to get this, I wouldn't say negative reaction, but, it wasn't a warm reception as you would expect it, right? Because, people seeing these negative remarks, which is untrue, and then we had to now push back against this, and we had to clear this up, and let the Minister Customs and his team know that these are not members of TARA. These are persons who just on social media think every time they open their mouth they could get a resolution to something. So it was really an issue, and sitting in the minister's chair, it was really something that they had to mention to us and take up with us if it was us. If it was us. So we had to clear that up first of all, JW. And
But to me, honestly, President, that's not even necessary as a minister, any sitting leader. Your skin need to be thick. You can have light skin and a commentary. Understand what I'm saying, Vice President Fields? I mean, what's that? We're always big men.
If you wasn't given the opportunity, to explain something at JW, and then, you have to defend against things that is untrue, then it's a whole different situation we are talking about.
Well, I guess so you all got that out of the way. You was able to clear the air. Let's do with the content. I mean, any headway made? They're going to make, is there going to be a pulling back, as it were, of what was initially stated via this tax?
Well, after we had discussions, and it was not one day discussion, as you mentioned, it was about a week into this, and after we had to show customs, the technical people, their attorneys was there also, the minister, his team, and their attorneys were there also. We had to show them how this vehicle would have fit in the tax exemption bracket, also with the legal notice that they have issued. So we had to do a lot of work over the weekend, and even going into these meetings to get documents and to show them what was happening, how this vehicle was working, the technology has changed, and how ISG, a starter motor, was being converted now to a motor for propulsion in the vehicle and things like that. So we had a lot of work to do, which we did, and the final step is now, was what happened, that the minister gave the exemption. Only he could have done it. He gave the exemption, and as of now, nobody has to pay taxes on those cars.
Well, all right. And, Vice President Fields, I'm looking at the actual media release, and the fact that, they said that the order is correct and consistent with the classification rules applied by the World Customs Organization. I mean, we could have Googled this. This could have Googled. Well, I mean, I'm trying to figure out... Well,
it really couldn't have Googled per se. It's something that you really had to have consultation and a discussion on. I think the thing customs needed clarity on, and not only customs, the dealers and importers by far and large really needed clarity on, is if the legal notice would still suffice if there was a tariff change. So globally, the World Customs Organization put out a new tariff that the mild hybrid had to be classified under, right? Customs being a part of that organization had to more or less, abide with what they guided. So the challenge is now, when you put it in this classification, is the legal notice that creates the exemption still applicable? And I think that is where the issue was. That is where because it's something automatic, Jason Asikuda. Once you change the classification out of the exempted realm, taxes will automatically be generated. So I think what happened there is to get clarification, and that is what we was able to do. And before clarification of them even knowing if the legal notice would apply, we had to provide evidence that the mild hybrid works or works in the same descriptive way that satisfies the legal notice. So we gathered the information, we showed them that that the mild hybrid, the motor on the mild hybrid, does contribute to the propulsion of the car intermittently and does satisfy what legal notice 247 of 2024 required. When we came to that agreement, now this is successive meetings. That is not a one meeting, Jason. We're talking about the first meeting on Monday after we came by you with the minister. The minister then says, hey, what? We realize there's a gray area here. You all go sit down, come to an agreement. Then we meet with Customs on Tuesday. When we meet with Customs on Tuesday, we have to show them that, hey, this mild hybrid is significantly different to what is a micro hybrid, which does not propel the car. Present our evidence, as Mr. Baba alluded to, show them that the mild hybrid does contribute to propulsion working in tandem with the internal combustion engine, come to agreement, and then say, well, if we agree to this now, then we now need clarity from the minister and his legal team if the legal notice 247 of 2024 applies and covers this new tariff heading. Because we have to follow what the WCO says.
You know,
we schedule a meeting for the Thursday, and on the Thursday is where we present this to the minister and his legal team, and then they get back to us and say, based on how their legal understanding, the tariff, even though it's been changed to a new heading, it is still covered by the legal notice that was made by Cabinet, legal notice 247 of 2024. So the exemptions are still intact on everything.
You know, I want to thank you for the clarification because, you know, you would assume that some things you could type in and research, but I would imagine for this situation and others too, when it pertains to cars and the classifications, you need that deep understanding. You need to have folks like yourself, President Babwa, you know, Vice President Fields, to really go in. It begs the question, the technocrats, those who are putting all this together, anybody from your field in that kind of conversation in those rooms when these decisions are being made, or you all have to go every time and give you have to explain and do that deep dive to let them understand, because these cars and everything is changing. Things are changing so fast.
And that is why it's important, and that is what I think Mr. Baba was alluding to in the beginning. You need people who have the knowledge, the experience, and understand the technology to go in there, do that, not only just do the deep diving, but explain it in a way so that Customs could understand the depth of what you're explaining, and then explain it to the minister himself so that he understands that everything is legally in accordance and that we could go through to do that. And that is the danger of persons who do have that experience and persons who possibly just have anxiety because they're looking at we might be at some great cost or great loss. And then they're right. They decide, well, boy, let me go on social media and say something. Sometimes, as Mr. Baba was alluding to, it sets a bad tone for us who are the knowledgeable ones to now go in and say, all right, this has nothing to do with us. We understand that Customs also have treaties they signed on to, and we understand that we need to work our way forward. But we have evidence also to help Customs, help the Minister of Finance to make the right decision, a decision that don't land us up in some litigation battle, or in the courts, or in the media, and that's how it is. Consultation is important, but being able to consult, you must have information. Of course. So I think that's what Mr. Baba is trying to put persons who, yes, you might get anxious, but sometimes there's chains of command of how you do things, and it may just bring, seamless result as what happened last week. Yeah. And we must thank the Minister and Customs for allowing that consultation, because they could have been a hard fast, They could have tell us, people talking like, hey, this happened like snap of a finger. If they wanted to, they could have said, well, take us to court. And these are some things we've faced already. Yeah. So we have to be appreciative that they have allowed us that grace to be able to present our evidence, for them to research it and accept it. No, and that is what consultation is about.
No, that's definitely, thumbs up to the minister in that regard to allow the consultation to Customs and all the players. Would you say, President Babwa, last week, the meetings, the back and forth, the uncertainty and the eventual decision to accept your recommendations, this was a big win for the association and ultimately the customers?
Yeah, it was a win. It cleared the anxiety, and it was a win. It was also an opportunity for us to present to the minister and Customs that when we talk about things and when we ask for things, that we have the knowledge and that we need to be consulted before decisions are made. that could have the effects that it had here. So it is very important that for people to understand that. Remember, hybrid and electric vehicles keep changing. To the common man, the normal man, he might think nothing is changing. For example, a mild hybrid vehicle, you have to demonstrate that an internal starter generator changes to a motor. So you must have the knowledge and do the research and know how the automotive sector is changing to go and present that. And in every aspect of it now, although you might see a car being a hybrid or being an electric, you have technology that is changing that would to propel these vehicles. And this information, where I don't think the minister and his team, of course, some might even dig so deep because, they just see it as a normal car. So it is very, very important for us to continue to have consultation and discussions to demonstrate that the changes that are happening in the automotive industry, and we won't end up in a situation again. And for example, the HS codes are not set in Trinidad and Tobago. That is set in Brussels in Belgium. Countries have not given tax exemption. Also, certain countries, they push back against it, and they didn't give the tax exemption on mild hybrid, right? I don't understand. Each country reserves the right, Jason, to give exemption where they see it fit. The government reserves the right to do that. And this is what took place here.
Well, President Babwa, sincere thanks, of course, Fields. Always a pleasure. And well done, guys. Your intervention, your persistence, your clarity in being able to explain this, your patience brought about a big win, and ultimately the customers will benefit. Thank you so much, guys, and keep me in the loop with any new development. All the best.
Thank you again, Jason. Have a nice day, you and your team.
Yes, indeed. And we have to give credit where credit is due. The minister allowed consultation, and because of that, and that sitting on the table and having discussions, we're able to get a solution there and save people some money, because obviously with that tax, if they didn't intervene, you got to pay more to clear the vehicles, and ultimately that price point would have been transferred to the new car owner. So well done to Babwa and to Fields. We take the pause, we come back, and we get ready. Remember, your call's coming up after 7. That's after the news update. See you soon.
Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488 or visit our website to order. Visit Tire Clinic Marketing, New Truck and OTR Tire Service Center at number 30 and 32 Montrose Main Road, Chaguanas. Call today at 665-8973 or 672-3419. Alignment services available. Tire Clinic Marketing, Truck and OTR Service Center. A tire for every need.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry, premier insurance coverage for less.
The Israelite Church of God in Jesus Christ, teaching the truth about God's people, God's plans, and the secrets of God, all written within the pages of the Holy Bible, which is the Word of God. Watch The Hidden Truth every Thursday at 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. on CNC3.
Today, Barbados pauses to honor one of our greatest sons, the Right Excellent Sir Garfield Sobers, who passed away on July 17th at age 89. A sporting legend, a national hero, and an ambassador whose extraordinary talent elevated Barbados on the world stage. Through his excellence, humility, and unwavering pride in his homeland, Sir Gary inspired generations and showed the world the strength of a small island with an extraordinary spirit. You can pay tribute to Sir Gary by visiting sirgarysobers.bb. Thank you, Sir Gary. Rest well. Your legacy lives on. Stomach discomfort again? Bloating, cramps, irregular bathroom habits? Meet Vivera, your daily support for a balanced gut. Vivera works fast to help reduce the abdominal pain, ease bloating, and support healthy digestion. It helps restore balance to your gut so you can get back to feeling light, comfortable, and in control. Choose for real digestive relief, safe, effective, and trusted for both children and adults. Now available at pharmacies nationwide. Vivera, feel the difference.
The biggest party in sport is back. Catch every TKR match live and exclusively on CNC3, August 7th through September 20th. You don't want to miss the action. The Republic Bank CPL 2026, only on CNC3. Passion, energy, and cricket live here. Brought to you by
parents will do it. They'll go to work, have a day, bro, and come on and take that stress out on you.
Welcome to another episode of Manhood.
Everybody will do what they need to do to get what they want.
And if they can't fit in to the norms, then what they have to do, they have to survive. You know?
Not everybody wants to kill me because I might be all kind of thing, but I think I'm a good person.
The aspect of a mentor seeing something in you that you can't see in yourself.
Check yourself, because you shaped that generation.
Are we losing in many ways the values?
Since I have this Parkinson's diagnosis, there's a group, a very small type group, who will always look after me.
Sportsmanship is when an athlete walks off the court and you can't tell if he won or lost because he carries himself with pride either way. This quote is an embodiment of sport, and for me, sport is an embodiment of life. We are where you are.
Time Check, brought to you by the Central Bank and the National Financial Literacy Program.
Good morning, I'm Keyshawn Haynes with headline news on CNC3 and the TBC radio network. The political fallout continues over Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessa's decision to miss the Emancipation Support Committee's flagship celebration on Saturday. The opposition is accusing her of disrespecting a national observance, and the Prime Minister is insisting the controversy is being driven by political division. Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessa is accusing the People's National Movement of using Emancipation Day to, quote, denigrate, humiliate, and tear down Indo and Afro-Trinidadians who don't support their political party. She added that she did not mind if supporters insult and call her racist names. She was responding to questions about the Independence Day parade, and she said, quote, that's all the PNM and their supporters care about: rum, drinking, fetting, whining in the road, and getting freeness from the state, end quote. But opposition leader Penelope Beckles described the Prime Minister's absence as disdainful, arguing that emancipation belongs to all Trinidad and Tobago and not any political party. Meanwhile, political analyst Dr. Bishnu Raghunath says the Prime Minister's absence reflects the difficult balance between political calculation and national leadership. Raghunath believes that Persad-Bissessa may have stayed away to avoid the emancipation celebration becoming a political confrontation, but he says leaders should expect public scrutiny and criticism. He also argues Trinidad and Tobago must have more open conversations about race to strengthen mutual respect.
I would have thought that the Prime Minister has very tough skin. And, she has choices to make, and she has made certain choices. We fail to address based on the fact that we do have to put the discussion of race on the table and make it an open discussion. And that, I think, is where we have lost it, in that we don't have that kind of respect for each other's cultures and everything else.
Meanwhile, historian and author Dr. Claudius Fergus is highlighting the ongoing push for reparatory justice. Fergus described the abolition of chattel slavery as one of Africa's greatest contributions to humanity. He appealed to the Prime Minister to reconstitute the National Reparations Committee, which was terminated 10 months ago.
On this site, last year, she committed to reparations. And 2 months later, the Minister of Foreign Affairs dismantled the committee. Now, there's nothing wrong with dismantling the committee, but I believe there's something fundamentally wrong with leaving a vacuum.
A 23-year-old police officer is expected to appear in court today charged with misbehavior in public office after a police-issued firearm, magazine and ammunition went missing from the Miaro police station. The TTPS says the weapon was discovered missing during internal checks on July 29th and was later recovered following an internal investigation. Guardian Media understands the firearm was returned to the station before it was recovered by investigators. Sources say officers from the Professional Standards Bureau seized station records and interviewed officers as part of the probe. Police Commissioner Alistair Guevara says the TTPS has a zero-tolerance approach to breaches of trust involving police, firearms, and remains committed to maintaining public confidence in the service. Stay tuned for another news update at the top of the hour and for comprehensive coverage in our midday and major news at 7 p.m. on CNC3.
I never want to be in the dressing room. I always want to be on the field. And when I was on the field, I want to be able to do everything. I developed 3 different styles of bowling. I feel in the leg slit. I feel close to the wicket. I always wanted to be in the area where I had to be thinking and concentrating and working out things for myself, because you're always in the game.
This is Sir Garfield Sobers.
Gary Sobers, when you call his name, you are speaking about the maestro of the cricket game.
In 1958, Sir Gary scored his maiden Test century against Pakistan in Kingston, Jamaica, and expanded it to an unbeaten 365, breaking the World Test record of 364 set by England's Len Hutton in 1938.
I was able to play with a lot of players who were better than me. I was able to go up on the Bay Pass to where the Wanderers team used to play, and I was able to bowl at the Wanderers players. And through that, I got an opportunity to play for Police, and that had given me my momentum and my opportunity to go further.
And that she's got to pick. That was the right distance. She's hit that. That's another one.
Anyone can tell you it's the best.
That's another one up in the enclosure.
This handsome Babylon lad.
Ooh, he's got them.
He's the cricket king. No joke. 3 cheers for Captain Sobers. With no lose respect. As always, please. With the greatest team on earth. Who is? But the West Indies.
When I played cricket, I played for a country, I played for a team. You know, I didn't play to make Gary Sobers the greatest in anything. If it happened, it so happened that my performances have caused that. But I didn't go there looking for that or to do that. You know, as a player, I always played for a team. The team needed help, I'll try and do it. If they didn't need it, well, it didn't matter what happened to me. But that was my kind of game. You know, not to look after Gary Sobers, to score runs, to praise for Gary Sobers, but to work for the team. The team came first. I came second.
After 93 tests, 8,032 runs at an average of 57.78 and 235 wickets, Garfield Sobers retired from cricket in 1974.
He could be out. Doug Walters caught it mid-on. Gary Sobers leaves the ground. The crowd is standing. I'll say no more. Just listen to that crowd.
I enjoy playing in every country. I enjoy what I have done. I enjoy the glory and the glamour. I enjoy the ups and downs because you have to take them. The criticism I enjoy. Never looked at sport sheet. Never looked at how many runs I made. Never looked at what anybody said about me. I didn't want to. Wasn't interested. I knew what I had done. I enjoyed it while I was playing it. When I retired, I had had enough.
In 1975, Gary Sobers was knighted by Queen Elizabeth II.
And now the great moment. Sir Martin Charteris, member of the Royal Party, announces Sir Garfield. The Queen knights him with a sword. Places the accolade of honor around his neck. And chats briefly with Sir Garfield.
If you look back, would you change anything?
No.
Today, Barbados pauses to honor one of our greatest sons, the Right Excellent Sir Garfield Sobers, who passed away on July 17th at age 89. A sporting legend, a national hero, and an ambassador whose extraordinary talent elevated Barbados on the world stage. Through his excellence, humility, and unwavering pride in his homeland, Sir Gary inspired generations and showed the world the strength of a small island with an extraordinary spirit. You can pay tribute to Sir Gary by visiting sirgarysobers.bb. Thank you, Sir Gary. Rest well. Your legacy lives on. Stomach discomfort again? Bloating, cramps, irregular bathroom habits? Meet Vivera, your daily support for a balanced gut. Vivera works fast to help reduce the abdominal pain, ease bloating, and support healthy digestion. It helps restore balance to your gut so you can get back to feeling light, comfortable, and in control. Choose for real digestive relief, safe, effective, and trusted for both children and adults. Now available at pharmacies nationwide. Vivera, feel the difference.
The biggest party in sport is back. Catch every TKL match live and exclusively on CNC3, August 7th through September 20th. You don't want to miss the action. The Republic Bank CPL 2026, only on CNC3. Passion, energy, and cricket live here. Brought to you by...
Ten minutes after 7 o'clock on this Monday morning, Monday the 3rd of August 2026. We just had our Independence feature and a nice spotlight on the late legend himself, Sir Garfield Sobers. With that, we head into the calls. I think Faizo is standing by to check in on this Monday. Faizo, good morning.
Good morning, Brother Jason. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago.
I'm not hearing Faizo, guys. Let me just try to get Faizo.
Hello?
Faizo, I'm not hearing you. So.
Hello.
Yes.
Morning.
Perfect. Go right ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah, Jason, good morning. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago.
Morning.
Jason, I want to open by saying I'm disappointed. The Prime Minister, and listen to my words carefully, were unable to attend the Emancipation Support Committee celebration. Mm-hmm. And I use the word unable because we are in a SOE, and I don't know the type of intelligence that she would have been having from the police service. If
I
there
think
was
the
any
intelligence, and I'll let you continue, Faizo. I think the intelligence came from the buff her minister received, and I think when she saw that, I'm just going based on her message. I think that she read between the lines and figure, you know what, boy, I feel the environment might be hostile, so I'll stay home on this one. That's the vibe I got, honestly, no, Faizo. That's what I read.
And so I am saying to you, that is a serious consideration. And I'm saying to you, if that in itself is a consideration, I would have given the same kind of thinking, because I'll tell you why. Now, I feel sorry for Michelle Benjamin this morning. I really feel sorry for her. And I don't think that was the time and place to celebrate emancipation in the way they did. Yes? Because Mrs. Benjamin didn't go there to fight them. She went there to greet and meet. And to build bridges, yes? And so whatever the Prime Minister's decision was based on what it was, I may not know, but if I was in her position, I would probably read the same message and not go there and fan the flames of discord. Because the more the people were in, clearly, it would probably lead in that direction. But I want to touch more on Dr. Nayan Gaspi's contribution. People have to listen to what she's not saying, because clearly, I mean, I'm being Indo-Trinidadian, I took offense to what she said in a particular way, because when there's the Indian Arrival Day, there's never that type of statement being made. Yes? That is exclusively to Indians. And with that thing coming out of UTT, I am disappointed. But that could go further than that, because remember, a lot of the business people in Trinidad and Tobago, a lot of the employers of Trinidad and Tobago of East Indian descent. And I don't know how they would take it, so politicians need to be careful. I wonder if the godfather of the nation, which is Dr. Eric Williams, if that statement still holds, that we are not yet ready for Indo-Trinidadian Prime Minister on his passing. It is alleged that statement was made by a senior statesman. Yes?
Yeah.
So, you know, my brother, it is not easy, and I'd suggest the executive of the PNM is displaying a type of racist behavior that is having run off on the society, and they need to be careful about it. Take care. Have a nice day.
Well, again, you know, it's open forum. I mean, I give people a chance to express themselves. I did so at the start, and here's why I sit and I listen. But as I said this morning, Faizo, if you notice, both sides of the divide need to move up. Both. And when we get this batch out, I hope the next generation, they're going to change the tone and change the direction of this beloved Twin Island state, Trinidad and Tobago. Shogunas, I'm standing by. Go right ahead.
Yeah, pleasant good morning, Jason.
Good morning.
Jason, a lot of what Faizabat said there I would agree on. Let me tell you this, right? First and foremost, I would like to say that I think the Tuesday programs, when they would have included some of the East Indian culture in the emancipation, right? I think, honestly speaking, even if that your intentions were good, I think that was out of place, because this is a festival. This is a holiday as we put in African emancipation, right? And if it is that they had done that the other way around for the East Indian arrival, right, it would not have been taken too well, right? So I like to be fair on everything, right? If it is that there's an African if it's an African program, let us remain it as and remain being that of an African program. Let us not try to mix anything and say that, you know what, we're trying to bring in other cultures. And no. That's a pack of nonsense, right? So I think that the government is left wanting us to where that is concerned. Now, you're here where I start, right?
Yeah, fair assessment. And you notice I didn't even talk about that this morning, so I'm glad you actually brought that up. So thanks for that reminder. Go right ahead, I'm listening.
I like to be fair on everything, right? Now, here's what. This case with Michelle Benjamin, right, and the Prime Minister. Now, if the Prime Minister didn't intend to attend, right, if she didn't intend to attend in the first place, even though that they would have put it on their program, that the Prime Minister, and I'm just saying, right, if they did put it on their program, right, on their documents, right, that the Prime Minister would attend. If the Prime Minister does not attend, does that take away anything from their celebrations? Come on now, man. Let us be real now. And for this lady, let me tell you something. This lady, this puppet sent by the PNM, right? And I call her a puppet sent by the PNM to come and abuse Miss Michelle Benjamin. If you know Michelle Benjamin, if you only know Michelle Benjamin, I don't know she from A to Z, but what I could tell you, she's a very nice person. She's a very humble person, right? Jason, and for that lady to come now and to try and abuse Michelle Benjamin, and you hear the statement she making to some effect that you promise us food yesterday, so today we must starve, or something to that effect. Look at that lady. That lady starving. Look at the size of that lady. That lady starving. Look at how they dress.
I mean, listen. I mean, we don't. I mean,
come on now, man.
I mean, the lady's size, I don't think is relevant to the discussion. What I will tell you though, Mwale brought forward a group, and I hear you know Shogunas, but you know Mwale brought something that I and all didn't even think about. He said that emancipation, part of it is freedom and resistance, and he said that in the spirit of the emancipation and what Afro-Trinbagonians, not only in Trinidad and Tobago, across the world was fighting for in that timing, it was a pushback to the powers that be. And in that moment, Michelle Benjamin is a power that, she represents the power that be. So I guess again, that's not my words, I don't know if you saw the first hour, but Dr. Henry said that was part of, I guess, the resistance chemistry that is part of the emancipation celebration. Interesting point. Where's Shagona? Is he gone? Like Shagona's gone? Yeah, I mean, listen, you see, and I'm glad that we're having, so Kirap, I'll let you go through, but I want to say this quicker before you go, Kirap. I'm glad that we could have these discussions without anybody getting angry and getting emotional. You see, I'll let Faizabad give his piece, Shagona's give his piece, an interesting perspective. I mean, you didn't talk about the lady size, Shagona's, I think that's irrelevant. But we, to get past this particular moment, we need to have an open, frank, and honest discussion on race and race relations and how we're going forward and call out those who clearly dropping the ball. Let's treat with Curab. Good morning, Curab.
Hi. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning.
I want to let Mr. Faizabad know. The man who said that the country was not ready for a Indian Prime Minister was Mr. Humphrey of the UNC, the LT, whatever he was. It was he who said that. And they must think, because if you remember Eric Williams, he was not of that. Eric Williams was about the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And this is what we must understand. Do not try to put things on people when they are not. Understand your things. It was Humphrey who said it. And you know, it was debated because he called on the dead minister who was speaking in Parliament to say to retract it. And it was brought up from the Hansard. I was there, and I know it was brought up from the Hansard, and he had to stay quiet.
Well, I mean, thanks for the info, because that was way before my time. So I always heard.
I know it was way before your time,
Yeah.
but it was within my time.
Yeah.
And I could tell you because I was there.
Yeah, and the person he was talking about would have been Kamaluddin Mohammed at the time. He was the person who they kind of tipped to be the first. Was it? No. Who was the person they was talking about at the time?
I don't know who he was talking about. I know it was brought up in the debate on the while they were closing off the debate on the
well,
something on the debate, and I think it was I think it was Padmo. I'm not sure. I think it was Padmo who brought it up. But other than that, I want to ask you something. With all that is going on in this country right now, can anybody tell me where is Krishna Lala? You remember Krishna Lala, the man who got the contract to do the water treatment plant in Vietnam? And he absconded when PNM won the election. Can anybody tell me where he is now, and if he's in Trinidad, and why, if he's not, why isn't he brought back here to answer for the money that he took from us?
Thank you, Kirap. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. We had Faizabad, we had Shagwana weighing in, and Kirap. Listen, if we want to continue with the discussion during the course of the week, by all means, but we do it in a respectful manner, and it's time for us to treat with the elephant that's in the room. And again, we on the ground level, we operate, we work together, we eat together, we lime together, people making families within the beautiful space. The options are limitless, and we still see our politicians on both sides of the divide, but more so on the ruling side of it right now with our Prime Minister making some really, I mean, when I tell you the timing on those statements, the timing bell bursts, outer timing. We say move up. And I will sit here and I will call for that improvement every single time I get the opportunity. Yeah? Let's get ready for that conversation on PAN, the sweet, sweet national instrument. Steel Pan Month, yes, it's August. And Kwesi Moore, PRO of PAN Trinbago, stepping in to give us all the intimate details for this Steel Pan Month.
Period nights don't have to look like this. Move less, wake up to change. So change for a real night's sleep with Always Overnight. Its 3 times protection system absorbs, locks the fluid, and keeps it away from your skin. For protected nights without leaks. Always.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800 TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry, premier insurance coverage for less.
Enroll your child today at CTS College's private primary school. Classes are online and taught by qualified and experienced teachers. Our fun and engaging sessions are recorded for further review. We cover the full range of SEA subjects with preparation for success. Students from first year to Standard 5 are welcome to join. And with our competitive rates and flexible payment plans, it's easy to enroll. Sign up today at CTS College.
This is more than just music. This is where you find the best of TNT. This is more than just a vibe. This is where Bollywood gets a twist. This is more than just energy. This is Bhangra and indie pop too. This is the mix. This is the life. Lock on or log on now. Sangeet 106.1 FM. This is authentic East Indian radio. This is us.
Some of us like to test limits, but there won't always be second chances. Obey the speed limits. Maybe you don't value your life, but others value theirs. A message from the TTPS.
Panchambago PRO, Kwesi Moore. Yes, he joins me, and by all means, Kwesi, always a joy to have you on, but especially in the month of August. When you step in, yes, when you step in, you know it's excitement. We have, of course, a month of activities ahead. I look forward to all the details. Welcome.
Thanks very much, Jason. Good morning to you and good morning to all your viewers on the Morning Brew. It's a pleasure to be here, especially in this month of August.
That's right. Because, and the official day recognized by UN is coming up, right?
Yes, on August 11th, Tuesday, August 11th.
That's right. That's when you Google O's become the actual pan. Yes. First time I saw that, it blew my mind, you know?
Yeah, very, very unique.
Yeah, very unique.
But we're grateful for that, you know, that Google could recognize the day as well.
Could you confirm, and before we get into the pan discussion, I've heard that when we achieve, which we will, I want to call it into the universe, whether it's in the Olympics, so let's say World Cup, and we stand on that podium, the official anthem that will be played for us, similar to what I've heard with Scotland, where they actually use the bagpipe in their anthem. I'm hearing that it's the pan. The pan is our official anthem on those global sporting stages.
That would be news to me. I'm not certain.
Find out that from now. Because somebody told me that, you know, from a diplomatic, as I was not diplomatic. Well, I can't say diplomatic line, but someone who's a diplomat was saying that. He said that, you know, you're so unique and the pan, and I was like, wow, see that's a real good development, if indeed that, you know, whenever we stand again on that podium. To know the pan is what will be represented as opposed to the orchestra anthem.
That is amazing. That is amazing. As a matter of fact, I also know that the president's fanfare has officially been changed to the steel pan playing it.
Oh gosh!
Yeah, that happened last year or the year before, or something like that. But yeah.
But find out that one with the sports from the day. I'll give you some homework.
So next time when I won, I'll report back. Sure.
For sure. So what's in store? What's the first order of business for Steel Pan Month?
Yesterday was the first order of business for Steel Pan Month.
Serious?
We launched August Fest. So we rebranded Steel Pan Month and it's now August Fest. A month chock full of activities, steel pan related, of course. So last evening we had our Steel Pan Musical Love Affair. It was a gala launch, black tie event, $1,000 ticket for the for August Fest, where we launched Steel Pan Month in fine style.
Excellent.
Of course, it featured a very official part of the proceedings with speeches by, you know, NCC chairman, Panchambago president, the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Culture and Community Development, and of course we had premium dinner and a lovely entertaining evening by BP Renegades Steel Orchestra. So that was last evening, and that's how we launched the event in fine style. I mean, the event had some hiccups, of course, which we would acknowledge, but other than that, it was a top tier and a really classy evening.
Nice.
We thought it best to try a different approach in terms of the launch of Steel Pan Month, and I think by all accounts, last evening was successful. It was a primarily youth event. We invited some members of youth orchestras throughout Trinidad and Tobago to be able to experience this different setting, and I really think it was a wonderful evening, and persons would hopefully agree with me.
Well said, Kwesi. So we're going to put the calendar up. So I'm seeing some of the info there. We had the launch last evening. I'm seeing some other major activities. Echoes of Steel, what's going on there?
Right, so Pan Trinbago would have the main events that we put on, especially through the central executive. So we do have the World Steel Pan Day, which we'll get into. We have Pan and Powder that takes place on the 19th of August and so forth. But our regions, because we allow our regions to manage a lot of their affairs, they do put on their own events as well. So Echoes of Steel is the South Central region of Pan Trinbago putting on a wonderful concert in Naparima Bowl on the 9th of August. Featuring, of course, some of the prime entertainment, prime steel orchestras from South Trinidad. So we do have Skiffle, we have Pan Elders, which is the 2026 medium band panorama champions. We have the South Band, which is the small band champions of this year. We have Golden Hands, and of course, Guinness World Record holder Joshua Regrello. That is happening on Sunday, the 9th of August at Naparima Bowl.
That is literally this Sunday.
This Sunday coming here, yeah. Tickets
at the bowl.
Yeah, correct.
Nice.
But before that, our Eastern region is hosting their first Friday's Pan Yard Lime at the Diarima Angel Harps Pan Yard. That is happening this Friday, the 7th of August.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Contribution $50. That is featuring, of course, Arima Angel Harp, Simple Song, Steel Orchestra, Pan Elites, a couple soloists as well. So they're doing their thing. Our Northern region, they're having their 1-2-3 Plus extravaganza that is taking place on the 15th of August. And I hope, ladies and gentlemen, you're taking out your pen and paper, you're taking a picture of the screen right now to get some of the main events.
And this will be on the website too, right?
It's on our website, on all our social media pages, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you name it, via email as well. So again, 1-2-3 Plus extravaganza by the Northern region. That is happening at Massey Trinidad All-Stars Spaniard. That's featuring the top bands in the Northern region that would have performed well at the Panorama competitions. We have BP Renegades, you have Shell Invaders Youth Steel Orchestra, you have Court Sound Specialists of Laventil, Silver Stars Steel Orchestra, and it's going to be a wonderful night.
I'm seeing there is a church service also.
Right, Pan Passion, that is taking place, I believe, the following day, the 16th of August.
That's
this
right.
is our annual church service and blessing of the flags.
Which house of worship?
It is taking place at the Pan Trinbago head office.
Oh, so at the actual Pan Trinbago?
Yeah.
So you're bringing like religious leaders to come in and...
Correct.
Understood.
Interfaith kind of...
Interfaith. Beautiful. Yeah, because you must...
acknowledge all.
Must acknowledge.
Yeah.
Yes. So as we look to wrap things up, let me ask you, I'm seeing, well, it's too much to mention. Is there anything on the Avenue? I know normally you do the Avenue kind of action, anything happening in town on the Avenue?
Yeah, well, that is not our jurisdiction. I would say it's not a Pan Trinbago event, but there is Pan on the Avenue happening this year. That advertisement went out, and it's happening on the 30th of August.
Okay. Yeah. So, but I say again, that's why we have these conversations for clarity, because I know people kind of look forward to that, but that's going to happen, but that's probably under the corporation, I would imagine.
It's under the Garcia family. Okay. It was pioneered by Cleveland Garcia, who is now deceased, and his family has now taken it over. Yeah?
Yes, he used to be on Wrightson Road, I remember, and his kids. I actually taught his kids, his children, I know.
Yeah?
Yeah, in Trinity Junior.
Wow,
yes,
okay.
So out here a long time. So basically, as we wrap things up, in terms of corporate entities, who are some of the folks who partnered? I don't know if you can remember all, but anybody you want to give special mention?
Well, of course, our collaborators in all things Pan Month August Fest, the Ministry of Culture and Community Development, we remain forever grateful for them and their assistance. We also have, of course, the National Carnival Commission, and our partners year on year, time after time, BP, Trinidad and Tobago, we thank them for their continuous support. Yeah. Good so, of course, Pan Month, August Fest. The theme is Rhythm and Rise, and the keywords are youth, discipline, culture, and community. And that main focus will be brought to light on World Steel Pan Day, where the youth steel orchestras of Trinidad and Tobago take over the streets of Port of Spain. All right, so normally World Steel Pan Day, we have the big Bram, and it ends in the square with all the senior bands, but we're doing it differently this year with a focus on the youth. So we look forward to that happening from outside Spaniard all the way to the Queen's Park Savannah.
You know, Pan as a tool of, as an intervention, it saves many lives and creates, you know, something positive for the hands to do, and it's music too. Music is a healer. We'll have that discussion, I guess, a little bit deeper whenever we touch base again. Because you would have seen in real time, kind of transformation.
Kind of impact,
Quincy.
Can't wait to get into that. Yeah.
Always a joy, man.
Thanks, man.
Respect. And you have some homework, I find out.
Yeah, we will.
Well, like I say, whenever we get to that Olympic gold medal again, if indeed it's the Pan, because somebody told me that this, and it was a real official person too, so I say, well, that's a big deal. I would love to know. Let me know. Kwesi touching base, PRO of Pan Trimbago, as we celebrate Pan Month here in the Twin Islands state. Up next, World Breastfeeding Week. Hey, we say breast is best. And with us, Amy Bartholomew steps in, a breastfeeding counselor, to just give us some great advice.
Stomach discomfort again? Bloating, cramps, irregular bathroom habits? Meet Vivera, your daily support for a balanced gut. Vivera works fast to help reduce the abdominal pain, ease bloating, and support healthy digestion. It helps restore balance to your gut so you can get back to feeling light, comfortable, and in control. Choose for real digestive relief, safe, effective, and trusted for both children and adults. Now available at pharmacies nationwide. Vivera, feel the difference.
The biggest party in sport is back. Catch every TKL match live and exclusively on CNC3, August 7th through September 20th. You don't want to miss the action. The Republic Bank CPL 2026, only on CNC3. Passion, energy, and cricket live here. Brought to you by
parents will do it, they'll go to work, have a day, bro, and come on and take that stress out on you.
Welcome to another episode of Manhood.
Everybody will do what they need to do to get what they want.
And if they can't fit in to the norms, then what they have to do, they have to survive. You know?
Not everybody wants to kill me because I might be all kind of thing, but I think I'm a good person.
The aspect of a mentor seeing something in you that you can't see in yourself.
Check yourself, because you shape that generation.
Are we losing in many ways the values?
Since I have this Parkinson's diagnosis, there's a group, a very small type group, who will always look after me.
Some of us like to test limits, but there won't always be second chances. Obey the speed limits. Maybe you don't value your life, but others value theirs. A message from the TTPS.
Well, it's always a joy to have Amy in studio. I remember we had this very important discussion, could have been either last year before. Once it's breastfeeding week, she steps in to really give that great advice. And I think it's a beautiful discussion. This is nothing taboo at all. You know, we have all been, I mean, most of us, I myself, we have been beneficiaries of, you know, breastfeeding and that bond with your mom. And it's just to keep that kind of conversation going and that reminder. And I guess tips, as it were. So, Amy, great to have you. Counselor coming in. I see baby in hand.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, yes. What are some of the plans carded for this week? This is the actual week, right?
Yes, it's World Breastfeeding Week, 1st to the 7th of August every year. We already launched World Breastfeeding Week with our walk and breakfast in Port of Spain on the 25th of July. And now we have our walk and breakfast in Tobago, which is this Saturday, the 8th. Registration is at 6 a.m. and the walk starts at 6:30 a.m. and it's at the Scarborough Library facility. And the contribution is $75.
Excellent.
So anybody who's in Tobago, and for all Tobagonians, join us. This is our main fundraisers, the walk in Port of Spain and the walk in Scarborough.
Amy, when you look at the empiricals, you look at the data, what is it saying about breastfeeding? Are mothers still using that as an option, or is it more people leaning towards formula?
Well, yes, we have an increase in breastfeeding, but it's not enough. I think there's not enough support, and particularly in Trinidad and Tobago, you know, our theme this year is breastfeeding for a sustainable start in life, strengthen what works. We at the Breastfeeding Association, we've been doing this for 50 years. Next year will be 50 years. We'll celebrate our 50th anniversary. So we know what works. And so we just need to strengthen that. And to do that, in order to do that, we need more visibility. So that's why we come on to shows like this to show, so that we can reach more people. Right, so that's the goal, is to help to support more people.
What are the benefits, Amy, for both child and mother as it pertains to the breastfeeding experience?
Oh gosh, the benefits are endless, but some of them is it's perfect temperature, perfect nutrients, perfect in every way for baby. It's easily digested. It helps to prevent many types of infections. It helps it's easily digested. I think I said that before. It helps to prevent NCDs, obesity. It creates this bond between mother and baby. And it's alive. It's full of antibodies, so it helps to prevent babies from getting sick. And as for mother, again, it also helps to prevent obesity in the mother. So all fat stores that are put on in the mother during pregnancy helps to give fat content to the milk when the milk comes in. It helps to prevent certain types of cancers in the mother, so ovarian cancer, uterine cancer, and breast cancer. It helps to prevent or to minimize type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, all of that in the mother. It also helps the mother's uterus to return to the pre-pregnancy size. So there are many, many, many benefits, and it's free, so that benefits everyone. And it is also environmentally friendly because there's no waste.
Is there any official, and I want to ask this before we go to a demo, because I know you know, that's a very important part to give that demonstration, and for mothers, especially new mothers, if there's not that, let's say, their mom or grandmama around to guide the process you might think people should know what to do, but you know, instructions are needed.
Yes.
But before that, is there a particular lock-off point? Because I wonder, does it get to a point where a child is breastfeeding and they already have teeth in their mouth and they eating solid food? We're talking like a 3-year-old, 4-year-old. Is that applicable?
Yes.
Yeah.
In some parts of the world, that's very normal. It's very normal for children to breastfeed up until that age. The World Health Organization recommends breastfeeding exclusively for 6 months. That is nothing else, no water, no other food, nothing else for 6 months. And then you start introducing complementary foods and continued breastfeeding for up to 2 years and beyond. So that is what is recommended, for up to 2 years and beyond.
Excellent. Just wanted to kind of get that information out. So for the new mom, you know, she might not know where to start, what to do. Just go through some of the basics.
Okay, so I'm going to start before baby, right? I'm going to start before I start showing position and all that. As soon as baby is born, it's recommended to do skin-to-skin contact. That is mother and baby, skin-to-skin, no blanket, no clothing, nothing in between mother and baby, because there's so many benefits to that. And also, too, to show this marble. This is the size of a newborn's stomach. It's very tiny.
You for real?
Yep.
My stomach was this size?
Yes.
Your stomach was this size, Amy?
Yep.
Look at this marble. Wow.
Yeah, so this is quite you know, significant piece of information here, because a lot of times mothers think that their milk is not enough in the very beginning. A mother has what's known as colostrum in the first 2 to 4 days after birth. That's what the baby gets, and it's available in a very small amount, sometimes just drops in the beginning, and then up to like half a teaspoon to a teaspoonful at each feed. That's why newborn babies need to feed often. But it's like condensed milk. It's so full of antibodies and nutrients and all that, and it doesn't take much to fill that tiny little tummy. So when moms think it's not enough, and granny and auntie and whoever else starts to say, oh no, that's not enough, you need to give the baby a bottle. And when you bring that bottle, what that does to that baby's stomach is it stretches it. And then, of course, it causes all kinds of problems for breastfeeding, right? So that's one thing which is very important, to just exclusively breastfeed. And eventually, the more mature milk will come in and it will be more plentiful. But even so, the stomach takes a long time to stretch gradually. And it gets to like the size of about an egg. And it stays that size up until baby starts to eat food and all that later on. And so that it really doesn't take a whole lot. The thing about formula is that as a baby gets older, you have to increase the amount of formula you give a baby. So what it does is it really stretches the stomach more than it should stretch. With breast milk, baby doesn't take more than about 3 to 4 ounces until they are finished breastfeeding, up to about 2 years, right? So it doesn't stretch that stomach significantly, and it really does help to prevent obesity, all kinds of eating disorders, and so on, right? And then when a mother does skin-to-skin contact with the baby right after birth, the baby has this crawling reflex, and it has this reflex, a rooting reflex. A baby can actually get to the mother's breast on its own without anybody touching. They smell the breast, they use their arms, their feet, they push themselves up to the breast, and they can get to the breast on their own. Of course,
it's almost natural.
Yes, exactly. And of course, if it's an unmedicated birth, the baby is more likely to get to the breast on its own. And then we are there to help. And then if mothers have prenatal sort of knowledge of breastfeeding, they know what to do to help the baby to get to the breast in a really good position, right? So sitting up, well, let me take this breast off of here. Right. Baby needs to face mommy completely, right? Yeah. Not facing up with the head turned. Which is, that's kind of a bottle feeding position. No. And that's what we see very often.
So physically twist baby.
Yes, mommy and baby need to face each other, tummy to mommy, right? And then we say the cross cradle pose is the best one, to hold baby with the opposite arm to the breast that baby is feeding on. Right? And that helps so baby can have freedom of movement of the head and the neck, so that baby can tilt his head back when approaching the breast. You aim the nipple between the baby's nose and top lip. Baby tilts its head back and comes into the breast, chin first. Right? The chin and the lower jaw play a very special part in emptying that breast. So you don't want the nose squished into the breast at all. When you see that happening, you know it's not a good position.
Amy, what's the average duration of, let's say, any feeding?
Oh gosh, all babies are different. Just like us adults, we feed, some of us eat quickly, some of us eat more slowly. But I would say anywhere between 10 minutes to half an hour is normal average feed of a baby. So this is position, and you don't ever want to press the baby's head into the breast, because you don't want the nose buried into the breast at all. Right? Chin buried deeply into the breast, cheeks touching the breast. And yeah, this is a very good position. It's called the cross cradle.
Amy, where can folks go if they want to continue the conversation or just get general information and advice?
Yeah, well, they can call us, Breastfeeding Association, at 468-5412 or 708-2991. And whoever answers that phone can either give the information or can put you on to a breastfeeding counselor. We have many breastfeeding counselors all over Trinidad and Tobago. We also have a breastfeeding support group the first and the third Wednesday of every month on Zoom from 10 to 11 a.m.
Always enjoy the conversation, Amy. There's a big learning curve, and as I say, can't remember it obviously, but my mom did say, and yes, she did say, Jason, yes, you were breastfed, and I'm happy for it, and obviously, you're
great for the development of the brain.
Yeah, well,
as we can see with you.
Well, all right then. So thank you so much, Amy, and let's not just touch base once a year for the week. Feel free if you have information or you want to come and share. Let's probably try and have a touch base a little more often.
Yes. Okay, that'll be great.
Fantastic.
Thanks for having us
and
again.
Hey, baby. Baby. All right. With that, we're going to take the pause, and then we come back and we give you details concerning Milfleur this Saturday, a Pan Heritage and Experience. Full details. See you soon.
Today, Barbados pauses to honor one of our greatest sons, the Right Excellent Sir Garfield Sobers, who passed away on July 17th at age 89. A sporting legend, a national hero, and an ambassador whose extraordinary talent elevated Barbados on the world stage. Through his excellence, humility, and unwavering pride in his homeland, Sir Gary inspired generations and showed the world the strength of a small island with an extraordinary spirit. You can pay tribute to Sir Gary by visiting sirgarysobers.bb. Thank you, Sir Gary. Rest well. Your legacy lives on.
In the ever-changing media landscape, we at Guardian Media strive always to put you, our viewers and readers, first.
We strive to uphold the time-honored tenets of responsible journalism.
For us, accuracy is key.
And in our reporting, we strive not only to be first, but fair,
impartial,
and to uphold journalistic integrity.
Above all, we are accountable to you, and we must respect the views of our audience. That is our solemn contract with you.
Keen attention to detail,
rigorous verification of facts.
Keep track of our editorial policies and guidelines, including our corrections policy, by logging on to www.guardian.co.tt for more.
For me, people matter most. It's the same if you hail from Moruga, where I'm from, Mount Irvin, Scarborough, or Port of Spain. As a journalist, I'm focused on building that connection between Trinidad, the region, and the world. Most importantly, I want always to use my voice as a powerful weapon to break down barriers wherever they exist. This is why we are where you are.
Get the story first. Want to know what's happening in news, sports, or crime? Get the CNC3 app. As the story breaks, CNC3 is there giving you the story first on your mobile device. Be connected to the most trusted and reliable news source, CNC3. Access your world with just a tap. The CNC3 app. Download it today.
All filmmakers, producers, content creators, influencers, and recording artists. If you're looking to rent a versatile studio space with green screen, video wall, cyclorama, and more, look no further. GM Labs is here to make your dreams a reality. Located in the heart of Port of Spain on St. Vincent Street, GM Labs is your one-stop shop for all your creative needs with over 2,800 square feet to work with. Take your creative concept to the final product at GM Labs. Give us a call or WhatsApp or message us on our Instagram and Facebook pages at GM Labs TT.
Well, let me tell you, when it comes to my friends here as it pertains to history and culture, now we could talk all morning, but we want to focus on the pan and on this amazing showcase that's happening on Saturday at Milflo. Pan Heritage, the experience, and with me, the chair of the Pan Heritage Planning Committee, no stranger, Simone Thorne Mora. She's here with me yet again. Great to see you, Simone.
Thanks for having me once again, Jason.
Definitely. And listen, you're coming with my brethren. Good people.
Exactly. Couldn't leave them out this time.
Joseph Bertrand.
How are you, sir?
All is well, sir. Outreach and Education Officer. Milflo, great location for this showcase. Walk me through timing and what you anticipate should be the takeaway for those in attendance.
Okay. So the Pan Heritage, the experience. Note the name, the experience. So we'll start off by saying it is a celebration of World Steel Pan Day, which was the United Nations deemed August 11 World Steel Pan Day. The steel pan is the only acoustic instrument that was created in the 20th century, and it's the national instrument of Trinidad and Tobago. So it's a celebration of that. That's number one. But number two, the experience. As what we call an edutainment space, we educate through entertainment and fun. So it's not my first being here, first time being here. And you hear me speak all the time about our events are immersive, they're experiential, so that our event, there will be a lot of hands-on sessions. Yes, we have 3 great bands playing. That's First Citizens, Supernovas, Trinidad and Tobago, Defense Force Steel Orchestra, Pan Around the Neck, as well as the Trinidad and Tobago Chinese Steel Ensemble.
Never heard of that particular...
Never heard of them. Well, persons need to come out and hear them.
Wow.
Because this is the 220th anniversary of the arrival of the first set of Chinese in Trinidad and Tobago. So the descendants of those will be playing.
you know, when we consider, Joseph, Pan, we consider this month, and just outside of August, obviously, the fact that it's well established, it's in the fabric of Trinidad and Tobago and the wider world. When I go overseas and hear a pan, you know the note, you hear the sound, you feel so, you say, yeah boy, that's from where I'm from. From home, right?
Yes.
You seeing more interest? I mean, you deal with lots of information, education, outreach. What's been your experience, and how excited are you for this particular event to also share the kind of knowledge you have on the instrument?
Well, firstly, the steel pan, I agree with you, home, that's what it speaks to. And with this particular event, the Heritage Experience, you'll be walking through the history of the steel pan from the time you come in. You have the tambu bamboo, we begin there.
Yes, yes.
And then we will work through all of the various iterations of the steel pan. And in terms of the young people participating in this event, there's also the Bright-Eyed workshop, where they will have an experience with understanding the steel pan and then creating a little bit more throughout the entire experience. And on a national level, looking at how the steel pan is part of our identity. Yeah, we're celebrating that this Saturday.
And not only that, Joseph and Simone, it took a little while for us to get here too, because from what I understand, it was before my time, but my mom would say that pan, or a pan man, if a woman brought him a pan man back in the day, parents taking our horrors, pan had a stigma, pan was not in the church, now pan is in the church.
Everywhere.
Right, so a pan in itself had a particular journey, and now it's coming to a premium place.
Yes.
Yes, and that's going to be a premium experience, I'm sure.
It is.
Where can we get tickets, and how are the tickets tiered in terms of price point?
Okay, so you can get your tickets on Island E platform, our website www.nationaltrust.tt. You could get tickets at the office, or call me. For those who can't get through, call me, Simone. At 465-6530, 465-6530, and I could always steer you in the right direction. So it's Saturday, 8th August, 2026, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at Millfleur.
What's the parking scenario like, Joseph or Simone?
We have great parking. On Serpentine Road, the Whitehall car park has a lot of spaces there for persons. Free parking.
Okay. Great, great. So you will encourage folks to go use the car park as opposed to Park Savannah and Cross Road.
Exactly, and it's free parking and safe parking.
Good stuff, good stuff.
Also, tickets are available at the National Trust headquarters at Millfleur, the exact location where this experience will be happening for you. And you can call 225-4650. 225-4650.
And the pricing, you did ask me the pricing. So $150 for adults, non-members, $125 for members, and $50 for all persons under 18 years of age.
Well said.
Yes.
Joseph, really quick, as you're here, and when I went down, I recognized you have so much vast knowledge, and I myself would have experienced a tour with my mom, went to the Blackman Ranch. We took a tour on the highway going down south. I didn't even realize I drive on a highway for years, didn't even know all this history, where the highway changed name in Chagonas. I mean, it was a blow mind.
Yeah, cool.
How could we get more people to experience and to really embrace the rich history of this Twin Island state, man?
That is the question that I tried to grapple with every day. How do we get people involved? How do we get people interested? And my one answer would be participate.
Yes.
Participate. There is something to learn every day. There's something that you can experience every day by simply just walking out of your home and looking up at the street sign. And that street sign will tell you so much about the space, about who it's named after, where it's named after, things like that.
Yeah.
So, PAN the experience, Heritage Experience, right here at Millefleur. This is the third Magnificent 7 building around the Queen's Park Savannah in Port of Spain. Just participate.
Yeah, well said. And, you know, just participate. I mean, let this be the start. You can come out Saturday, enjoy the PAN, get a little hands-on, get some history. But I can guarantee you that coming out of this, other opportunities would open up with the trust that you could partake in and just be a part of. I'll let you have the closing remarks. Simone, anybody in terms of corporate entities came on board to help out with this?
I would like to give special mention for Bermudas.
Okay, great.
Because the Cricks, what I call the Cricks experience, for those who don't know, the first PAN was at Cricks Biscuiting. Yes, it's only in, I think, the 1950s that they went to started to use the oil drum. Before that, they used to beat the rhythm on a Crixton.
Wow.
Cricks, apart from having a normal tasting station, they have donated substantially to us, and we'll be having a special competition, Be the Rhythm, on a biscuit tin, and you will get prizes. You will get their signature limited edition Crixtons filled with Cricks biscuits. So we're encouraging everyone to come out and try a hand at beating a rhythm on a biscuit tin.
Well said. Simone, Joseph, thank you so much. Heal up everyone for me. And yes, Saturday is going to be a tremendous success. Let's put the information up again. PAN Heritage, the experience.
Well, not just the experience.
The experience, yes.
Yes, you have to get the intonation.
Yes, I get it correct and right, yes. And it's happening, of course, on Saturday. Great program today, great, tremendous time spent. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. God spare, I'm back for more tomorrow. Until then, let's have ourselves a safe and productive day, TNT.